It seems to me that degen crypto is coming back. We're having a taste of it. And of course, it's highly correlated with the comeback of the crypto market and the recent rise, namely Bitcoin's recent rise, and the overall fear and greed index, which is more, skewed to the greed side. And because of this, we have emerging degen dapps that are growing legs like this one. I want you to do one thing. I want you to disregard the name of this dapp with the actual name of the scammer, because I'm sure the branding, so the logo and the name, are familiar to you most probably. If you've been around for at least a year, you know about the FTX scam and its recent trial, SBF convicted for 7 charges, etc, etc. But this one is many things, but it isn't a scam because it has been technically verified. Now, nothing can be certain 100%. Take everything with a grain of salt, but if you want to put your money in here, that money won't be stolen, for the lack of the better term. Now, the concept they go with, which is bond, stake, earn, is something that isn't quite new. Back in 2021, there was a protocol called Olympus DAO, which introduced the concept of bonding. So their OHM token was given a ridiculously high APY if you hold it, and you get more of it. Demand was insane, and because of this, price was rising, and then price plummeted and could not recover. And that's what I call, and what is called knowingly, as the death spiral. All right, so they tried to offset the situation. They introduced the bonding mechanism where you take the OHM token and the DAI coin, and then you mix them together, which was their LP back then. But by doing so, you give away your rights to LP fees, but then you get more of the token. And that is exactly what is going on here, with a few twists and turns, of course, because that's how game theory works nowadays. So what I'm saying is, if you want to purchase cattle right now, you have to exchange it for ETH and lock that transaction in for 20 or 30 days. You get a bonus, you get more cattle if you do so, because you are giving something for you putting that liquidity away for X number of days right now. So if you do 30 days, you get 30% on top. Now, after those 30 days, you have your 30%, then your stake is unlocked, you can sell, you take your 30% and you leave. But people are not doing that. People don't care about waiting 30 days to make 30%, which is technically 1% a day if the price remains stable. But again, people don't want that, right? So liquid staking, which is a concept hopefully you're familiar with, is something that they also added, but it's a bit different than what you know, because liquid staking in general has earning potentials through yield, but that's very dynamic, depends on the market. Here there's a fixed rate and there is a variable rate. All right, so if you, for example, take that bond of yours, stake it, and by doing so, by the way, you are also contributing more ETH. So not only you're buying up that cattle at the beginning with X amount of ETH, now you have more tokens because you got 30%, assuming you lock for 30 days. So now you have to put more ETH than what you purchased that token for initially to stake it. So 0.1 ETH at the beginning, for example, then 0.13 ETH. Now you have 0.23 ETH committed to staking the token and earning on it. So like I said, that earnings rate isn't fully dynamic. So you have the base rate. So there are 4 components. You have the base rate, that's 2%. You also have the LP rate. So the more the liquidity pool grows, the more you get. You have the bonus rate, which is dependent on the value of your stake, your referrals, and the team if they want to do bonus incentives. And there is, of course, the whole stake. So if you don't commit or do any action for 24 hours, you get an additional 0.05%. And that happens every 24 hours. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, again, you can go right now on the white paper, but to be completely honest, nobody really cares about what's going on in that white paper. People enter these dapps to make more money at the end. So they want to make more money than what they entered with. That is the absolute goal of what people's intentions are when it comes to these dapps. All right. So again, white paper is there. You can go through it. You can see their plans. But at the end of the day, like I said, the USP is not that. And you probably have guessed by now that by going through that model that I've just described, the token supply is technically unlimited, all right? So there's no inflation will keep going. There isn't really a ceiling. Even if they set one up, it will blow past that if there are many stakers and many people are earning on their stakes. So that is besides the point, because token supply is not something that you should be concerned with when entering, you know, a degen app like this, all right? So because token supply is unlimited, inflation would run rampant. The only way to avoid a death spiral scenario is through constant demand, because you need people to keep buying up and to keep bonding and to keep staking. And of course, team participation in regards to bonuses, in regards to adding more competitions. And granted, you need to release new products, you need to do things to keep pushing demand for the Carol token. Now, if I go to the chart right now, I'm not gonna even mention price appreciation between when it launched to now, because it's not something that is quite impressive, and that's good, because meaning early entrants don't have such a high advantage. Of course, if they've been holding since, they have 27 days worth of 0.05% every 24 hours that they are adding to their initial daily earnings. But at least there's the consolation that they can only take out 150% if they don't rebound, of course, which is the thing that I don't really like. When you put the idea of rebounding without a commitment, this is when your share grows without you committing to anything. And by doing so, this is when you have people who got in early who will grow their stake exponentially and then take out a lot of money at the end. But again, keep in mind that it is 150%, so it is 1.5 times the money, but it is the stakes 1.5 times. It's not the 1.5 times of the initial deposit that you made. Just remember that. So always keep an eye on the liquidity to market cap ratio. Right now it's sitting at about 1.26, which is quite good. There's a lot of liquidity. So their situation almost 1 month in is good, not that bad. But the moment you see a shift in that balance, the moment you see that market cap is growing, meaning more tokens are being pumped and not enough liquidity is there to support that token pump, this is when you should have your alarm bell set and be a bit concerned. For now, I believe that the platform still has some legs to go, still has room, to proceed, because the team is very active. They're doing lots of promos, they're doing lots of things, and marketing is one of the main things that keeps things going, or keeps the engine running at the end of the day. So just for you to get something into context, in order to offset the entrants and the exiters, for every 2 people who've been in this platform or who are currently in this platform, you need 3 people to enter to fill the gap, because those 2 people will leave with 150%, while 3 others will enter with 300%. I'm talking about equal value of exit versus entry. Of course, this is when price equilibrium is reached, but that is most probably never the case, all right? And that is disrupted on a daily basis, because you have people who are earning a lot who can cash out and not enough buyers to offset this. And of course, you have the potential most probable scenario of not enough liquidity being added, market cap rising, more tokens are being minted and sold, and you have people who will stop playing the game excuse me, and offload as they go, and they stop caring about that balance, that sweet balance that is currently ongoing. And unfortunately, the reality is that such dapps rely mainly on community engagement and the absence of greed. And that is a myth in crypto. Greed will always be there. The first part, maybe, could be there. But greed is when I draw the line. And if you have a community that honestly operates with these two rules and statuses in mind, then you have a successful project, whether is it a Ponzi or whatever it is, or an actual legit DeFi protocol. So, conclusion, is this a Ponzi scheme? Most probably, yes, it is most probably, because just by definition, you are earning more because people are entering to replace you, right? So just by definition, it is. Now, it does have a game theory, which makes it to last more and adds an additional element of excitement for people to enter, and that's why we enter them. It's called the DJ and dapp for a reason. I am in it just for the thrill of seeing that money or that number grow, even though I contributed more so far, but it's still cool, all right? So most people won't be able to explain it, but it is what it is, all right? So just keep these things in mind. Know the reality, know the risks, know what you're getting yourself into, and you'll be completely fine. One more thing before I leave you. Our community is quite welcoming, is quite cool. Lots of cool people, matured investors, like-minded individuals. We tolerate almost everything, all topics open there, and discussions are very healthy. Check us out, join us if you haven't. We'll be lucky to have you, and you'll definitely have a good time. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.